Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, to Makeup and Movies. Here we usually review movies and series, and I usually just say what I think about them. And yes, if you have not watched the shows that I review, please watch them first, because I'll have spoilers. I'm going to break it down what happens, and yeah, so make sure you watch it first before you come and watch this review. Anyways, in today's video we're going to be reviewing Celebrity, which is actually a K-drama, and yes, that I really love that show. It was really nice, but I have some things I need to get off my chest about this show. So yes, please subscribe if you haven't, share this video with your friends, and let's get right into it. Celebrity is a K-drama about a girl called Soari who actually gets famous overnight. Not overnight, but over a very short period of time, and it actually goes deep in depth about the influencer world and what goes on and everything around it. And let me tell you, I actually got scared. I was like, does this actually happen? I don't think so. That was too dramatic. Like, it was too dramatic. But anyways, let's get into it. So Soari is a... I can even butcher these names. I apologize in advance. So Soari is actually a makeup... She's a door-to-door salesperson. She sells makeup like door-to-door from homes to homes, and she goes to advertise the makeup. So one day she like meets her friend, an old friend called Omini, who is actually a social media influencer, and she has like I think 300k followers on Instagram, and she's like very popular. She has her own shop, like she's getting it, she's doing good. So she meets Soari, and she's so excited because they used to be friends back in high school. And back at the time in high school, Soari was actually from a wealthy family, and when they last saw each other, she was actually getting into an Ivy League school. So she was, you know, that girl. And yeah, so she asks like, oh, are you still like did you finish your Ivy League school? And Soari does not have the courage to tell her that she didn't actually get into the Ivy League school. Like, she had to drop out before she like started school, but she doesn't have the courage to tell her. So Omini is quite excited to be kindled with her friend, so she invites her to a social media party, and that party was what? So like Soari like wanted just to dress like her casual outfits, but her mother was like, no, you are not going as yourself tonight. You're going to an influencer party. You need to be dressed to kill. So the mother owns a tailor shop, so she was like, you can borrow one of the outfits. Like she usually deals with very high-end clients, so she was like, borrow one of these outfits, dress, and just make sure you turn it back in one piece. So it was actually like an LV Louis Vuitton dress. And when she gets into the party, you know, it's these parties when you get in, kuna our like paparazzis with the photos and stuff, and you go somewhere, you're posing like yeah. So Soari obviously can't go because she's not like known at this point. She doesn't even have Instagram at this point. So there's this guy, oh my god, what is his name? I'm telling you, that guy's name is what? Oh, Han Jun Kyung. Yeah, so he actually just taps her on the back, and she's very surprised, and then she's like, oh, you know, sexual assault, blah blah blah. Anyways, that altercation ends there. She gets in, and yeah, you know, she meets Omini's friends, and honestly I didn't like them at all. And let me tell you, these women got on my nerves. Like, guy, they got on my nerves, seriously. Anyways, so she meets them, and when the story starts, there are these two influencers who are actually quarreling, and they're having like a really heavy fight. So one of them comes to the party and attacks Omini, and she's like, how dare you do this to me after I take you under my wing and I showed you everything to where you are right now? You dad betrayed me. And Soari actually defended her, and later on she told them the truth, like, I'm not from an Ivy League, I actually am a door-to-door salesperson and stuff like that, and she actually gets punch on her dress. So Swari actually gets intrigued by social media at this point, so she decides to start an Instagram account, and she posts just random photos of herself and her life and her best friend. And actually Swari actually grows very fast, and I think because Omini like tagged her in a post or something, like they were seen together, so like she really grows like very very fast. Like she gets to like 7K in a very short time.
I am jealous.
So she gets to 7K very very fast. So this social media management company approaches her and they're like, we want to manage you and stuff like that. And that's actually the management company that's also manages Omini, who's actually also her ex-friend, because at this point they're not talking anymore. And the manager is like, approaches Omini and she's like, you know, this is a very good deal for you to actually take Swari under your wing and show her everything. So she invites her to a pop-up shop for her shop, for like her clothing line, and Swari actually is not impressed at all with what happens there. Like Omini treats her like a slave. She's like, put those things in my bags, did you do XYZ and stuff like that. So she gets so upset that she posts it on her social media, and it actually gets a lot of attention and actually gets a lot of hate, and she ends up losing a lot of her followers. And she gets a DM from somebody called BBB Famous. So like BBB Famous is like, you know, I want to help you, I want to assist you, and she's like, yeah, how can you help me and stuff like that. So my dog is right here next to me, so yeah, if you hear some strange noises, it's her. She's like, let me help you, I want to help you, I want you to grow, and I want you to become popular and stuff like that. So actually people online, so these friends for Omini are actually called the Gabin Society. So people are saying that they're talking like Swari's post is about the Gabin Society, and they get so upset. So something I forgot to mention is that this whole time Swari is actually like from the future is explaining what happened to her in the past. So the Gabin Society initially thought that she died, but apparently she didn't, and she's coming clean about everything. So back to the story, BB Famous goes ahead and goes in groups and talks and supports Swari and saying like, oh, you know, this is what happens, da, 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 da. And then people are just like, you know, all of a sudden on her side, and she ends up growing. So one of her friends, Angela, one of Omini's friends, Angela, invites Swari to a party to just like make ends meet with one of their friends. What was her name?
Oh wait, look at these names, Lord. These names are difficult.
Jean Che He. Let me just call her Jean. So Jean she's the one who's she got on my nerves. Oh my god, I think her acting was splendid because she got on my nerves. So to just make ends meet with Jean, Angela decides to like invite her to a party that they're holding. So when they go to the party, Swari discovers that these people are doing drugs, and it's just not any drugs, it's hard drugs. And she's very upset with Angela. She's like, why would you bring me here? Like even Jean did not even know that she was there, so she's very upset. But you know, Angela is like, relax, you know, she's in a good mood. So when they go in, they find that Jean is like really high on drugs, and they take a photo together, Swari and Jean, and she's looking very wasted, and she posts it on social media. And Swari actually witnesses a drug overdose, and this guy actually is like, he was gone, like he was foaming on the mouth, and that was very dangerous. And yes, Yoon Si Hyun, I'll just call her Yoon, she actually, her and her husband who's a lawyer, come and they clean out everything. So at this point, do you remember the guy I mentioned that she met at first called Han Jun Kyung? I'll just call him Han. He actually went to the police station and filed a report that, you know, he went and akajisema, like, I sexually assaulted somebody, and Swari was called down, and she was like, what's going on, to the police station. And like, he was like, I sent you a DM and you didn't respond, you know, like, standards. Like, if I send you a DM and you don't answer me,
we are going to the police station. Like, I'm going to take myself to the police station until you calm down. Now you can come and see me in person.
Like, that was wild. Like, Han is like the head of a cosmetics company, and he's a very, very rich CEO. Anyways, obviously, Soari doesn't want anything to do with him, so he actually comes, like, they're like, oh, you know, there's a time he was really aggressively approaching her, and she was like, I'm sorry, I'm not into you like that, and blah blah blah. Anyways, so how do I say it, blah blah blah. Anyways, so Han and Yoon's husband come to the place where Jane and her friends are partying, and the guy has an overdose, and you know, he's like, you know, I also don't deal with girls who come to such parties. Hey, jumping into conclusions, after this whole altercation, because Soari really wanted to go and report this case to the police station, but she was told not to because there was so much going on and it would have put all of this Gabin society in trouble, and she decided to keep quiet about it and just move on with her life. And she actually ends up growing so fast in her social media, and the management company did what they did. They took amazing photos, and like Soari was just looking peng, because like the photos were just amazing. So she grew very fast, like 80k, and I'm telling you, the Gabin society was not having it. Like, you know, I was sitting down and I'm like, hey, this boy don't have a life. Like, they're just so invested in Soari's life, and they're like, you have brand deals and sponsorships, focus on that. Why? You should be celebrating somebody else's wins, not like just complaining and trying to find a way to ruin their life. Anyways, with Soari's growing platform, she decided to start her own business, her own clothing line. She actually she went to buy stuff in wholesale and post them online, and people really, like, they were going out of stock. So her business was doing so well. Omini was not having it. She was like, there's no way she can be doing better than me. So they went to this lady, I do not remember her name, but she had, I think, 900k followers, and she also had a clothing line. And she was like, Omini was like, you know, finish this girl off, like, kill her business completely. So this lady went ahead and bought the products in her website that were pre-ordered. She went ahead and bought all of them, and this really put Soari in a very difficult position because people had pre-ordered and she had to pay them, like reimburse them, because of they were out of stock. Like, she didn't get the stock anywhere because she was buying them in wholesale, and when she was buying them in wholesale was zilikuwa zimeisha. So Soari just disappeared for some time, and she resurfaced out of nowhere, and the Gambian society was having it, all like celebrating that, oh my god, we got rid of Soari. Like, Jesus, don't you have a life? I'm sorry, me, it's upset me so much that they were so focused on her and nothing else. Just how to ruin her, just one person who's just trying to make it. So actually Soari disappeared, and Bibi Famous, who actually knew everything about the Gabin society and basically almost all celebrities, gave her tea on this lady who had 900k followers and told her how she can actually bring her down a notch. So actually Soari also should have just minded her own business, because I think her also being very actively involved in all this drama is what led to her, like, her downfall and everything that happened afterwards. But anyways, she approached this lady and she was like, oh, I know that you sell yourself to rich men for money, and like, I'm going to expose you and blah blah blah. I think that's what she said, but basically alienda kamwambia, I know all of your secrets. So this lady was like, this girl is dangerous, she's not somebody to be played with. Anyways, Soari actually disappeared, and the Gabin society was having it. They were like, yes, we got rid of her. Anyways, she actually resurfaced later at a fashion show, a fashion runway, and she actually got seats at the front. But how she got this is that she went to Angela and she told Angela that, I know all your secrets, because Angela, who was like, all these people in the Gabin society were married except Jean. So Angela, Soari went to Angela and told her, I know your secrets. I know that you sleep with rich men for money, and I'm going to expose you, and if you don't want me to do that, you're going to give me tickets to this runway. And it was front seats, and that's how she was able to get the front seat tickets. And she wore like one of the latest latest outfits, and there's a reason she was doing all of this is because she wanted to approach one of the most famous models, who I think had like 30 million followers on Instagram, like a very, very huge following, and she wanted her to notice her and take a photo with her. So when they took a photo, this really increased her popularity and stuff like that. So Swari ended up starting her own company. She approached one of her father used to be like he had his own clothing brand. So the man she approached actually used to work for her father, so they started a clothing line together, and her business was just doing amazing. But at this point, BB Famous was becoming bitter. She was, I don't know what her issue was anyways, but she became so bitter of Swari, and she was like, I'm going to expose you, I'm going to finish you, I'm going to completely ruin you. And that's what she did. She went ahead and exposed their DMs together, but they used Photoshop to actually change some things to make Swari look like the bad person. But basically, before that, BBB Famous actually approached Omini and told her like, I have things that can help you expose Swari, and they worked together on this, and it was exposed, and Swari was just, oh, she was backlash so badly, because it showed how she went for different celebrities and how she wanted to ruin their lives and stuff like that, and it was just so bad. So that is when Swari faked her death. Like, she wanted people to think that she died, so she faked her death. And actually the guy she partnered with to start this clothing line committed suicide, because everything, like, initially she had partnered with a Chinese influencer, and everything that she was selling went out of stock. And now when she wanted to ship them to these people, that is when BBB Famous exposed all of their secrets, and they ended up, every single person cancelled their order, and it was just so sad. So this guy ended up committing suicide, because he was like, we are finished, we are doomed, there's nothing we can do. So Swari faked her own death because she wanted to expose every single person and every single thing that happened in her life. So actually, her best friend started a hate page, because she just felt so bad that despite Swari growing her, she was still stuck just being there, and she started a hate page. And this was before Swari faked her own death. So once she faked her own death, that is when now we get caught up, because the series was going between the past and the future, and now we came to realize that the person who was narrating what was happening wasn't actually Swari. It was her best friend who was using some AI to actually talk about what's happening. Initially, Swari was actually looking for BBB Famous, because she was like, this all happened, like her downfall was because of her, and they actually found her. So apparently BBB Famous was actually a masseuse. She was the masseuse to the Gabin Society, and you know, people being in the massage parlor, unaropokwa kuropokwa proper, and she just had everything, and she knew everything. And this girl lived in a very, very bad condition. I think she was mentally unstable. Yeah, she lived in a very, very bad condition. So like when Swari approached her, like, and then she was taking her bag to go away, like roaches just left her bag and just scattered everywhere. Anyways, I think that's how they got to know like where she lived, I think. So it ended with Swari going to her place, and she wanted to like clean out her place and stuff like that. So basically, everybody fell. Omini, the Gabin Society, this Yoon's husband, who was like a lawyer and he was doing dirty business, was also exposed. But personally, I have to say that I never felt the connection between Swari and Han. Like, the romance aspect there was lacking. Like, they just all of a sudden, it was there, it was not there, I don't know. And also, like, the Gabin Society, why were they so interested in Swari's life? Like, she was just somebody who was trying to make it in the industry. They should have given her space, but instead they were jealous and they did so many things. Basically, it was just an interesting show at the end of the day. I'd rate it a 7.5 out of 10, because the ending was quite anticlimactic for me. I felt it wasn't like, oh, you know, and it started off like, damn. But anyways, have you watched this show? What are your thoughts about it? Kindly comment down below. And that is the end of my review. I basically just talked about it and what I thought about it, and yeah, so I will see you guys on my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends, and I will see you on my next video. Until next time.